One of the reasons that I was interested in Al's work was that I always felt that the paintings differed from each other incredibly, especially in the black and white ones, and there was some controversy about that, whether they were, in fact, all the same. I felt that there were vast differences in my response to two different paintings of almost the same time, of almost the same dimension, and of almost the same configuration. And I wanted to know why two similarly visual things could lead to two such disparate emotional experiences. The other reason for doing the show was that I felt that Al's work had not been seen together at one time in New York. I also felt that the space in the Whitney was a space that would be hospitable to the paintings and variable enough to be able to give the paintings the kind of variety, spatial variety they needed in which they could live. But basically it was for very selfish reasons. I wanted to see them all together. The weight of the late paintings was different from that of the earlier ones. Greek Garden sinks into the floor. It makes you feel as though the floor has hit you someplace around your waist, and you're overwhelmed with the enormity, the scale, the architectonic aspects of Greek Garden. All you have to do is turn around to feel that you've suddenly become weightless, and that there is no longer any gravitational pull, but that the body, your body, is suspended at some point up in space. And the thrust or the flow of those late paintings is an extraordinarily light and almost ephemeral or ethereal one. Just simply by turning your body, turn to experience two diametrically opposed sensations of gravitational pull or the lack of it.
I anticipated some kind of ability to be able to look over my whole body of work and come to some kind of vision or understanding. I was very disappointed in the sense I couldn't do it. I was too emotionally connected with it. It was like almost too much emotion. And I couldn't step back. I desperately wanted to. I wanted to step back and get some feedback from it, intellectual feedback. I'm just beginning to get some distance from it now, a year later. gravity was established, and then from establishing that floor, that sense of weight, then the paintings got pushed out physically, but still keeping their frontality. The earlier paintings were frontal, and they came at you full face.
My understanding of how that progression worked was that the evolution in the body of work was from topological space, that is concerned with a surface, with space on a surface in the very early pigment paintings, to a geometric space in things like Bastion or Mall or Greek Garden, to a projective space which implies a point of view, the viewer's point of view, and those are all of the early cubic paintings, to a Euclidean and ultimately almost four-dimensional, that is space-time kind of geometry.
The later paintings are so spatial that you can somehow move around them and move into them and through them, and they move around you and behind you. I find the paradox is that whatever space is created in those later paintings is created through a method that is not normally used to create space. In other words, it's a notational or charting or mapping or blueprinting methodology.
There is some sense of magic in all of that, because none of us can really pinpoint what a metaphor is or what a visual metaphor is or how it operates. We only know when it operates.
The geometry is deliberately chosen so that it was anonymous, so the relationships can be discussed as relationships because of their abstract qualities. But their abstract qualities have to do with their non-expressiveness, and that the only expression they have is what I put into it through the means of moving them around. What's interesting to me, which I don't know about, which I'm fascinated with, is the nature of the structures that these things create. I guess what I mean by structure is some kind of understanding how things go together and how they come apart, and how they can build things so that their relationships become something that I couldn't possibly understand before. And so the space is only used to create these structures which couldn't be created two-dimensionally, couldn't be created flatly. The earlier paintings were painted by a very different man, a relative, but not the same man. The late painting, I'm still very much involved with and working out of them, hopefully making them, developing them, furthering them. But one of my fantasies is that if I could grow as much as I've grown between one man and another person, again, in my lifetime, it'd be pretty good.